Welcome along to the Star Sports video blogs. It's Royal Ascot time and I'm joined by a stellar panel, joined from all over the world, some experts in all their fields. And the man that takes no introduction is the Punters Pal. The more you have on, the more you have back, Claude Duval. One lady that does take no introduction, the face of the betting nation, Channel 4's very own Tanya Stevenson. And I'm sad to say it, back by popular demand. After giving us a 33-1 nap at Cheltenham and a 20-1 second best, which came second to the 33-1 shot, it is the City AM editor, Bill Esdaile.
Thank you.
The Ascot Gold Cup run over 2 miles, 4 furlongs, the highlight of the week for all traditionalists and National Hunt fans. First run in 1807, a cracking race this year. Brilliant winners in recent years, including the great Yates, Rite of Passage, Fame and Glory. And it is Rite of Passage that comes back to defend his title, which he lost last year. 6-1 shot for the great Dermot Weld, a genius at work. Strange old horse this though, 1 run in 2012, 1 run in 2011, and difficult to assess, I would say. I mean, if he puts his best foot forward, he's miles ahead of these, but will he?
Well, that is the problem, and of course the great DK World, he does intend to let him have a run prior to the big day, so it's difficult to analyse exactly which horse will turn up on the day. The other important part, of course, is Aidan O'Brien. Despite Dermot Weld winning it last year, he's got a tremendous record in the race, largely through Yates, 5 winners in 7 years, and it's anything that he turns up and runs in this race demands respect. I was hoping that Mount Athos would take his chance here. I love that horse. I think he's really special. But Shrewdies, as you, Bill, tell me that he'll run in the Hardwick. If he wins the Hardwick, God knows what weight he'll carry in the Melbourne Cup. Not much point going all that way. But no, I think I'd like to really see how Rite of Passage goes on in his prep race prior to this.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, sort of horse I'd love to own. 3rd in the Cheltenham Bumper, 3rd in the Neptune. Gave you a day out at Ascot in the summer when you're bored, and it wins there as well. I'd love to see it win because it's a great horse. But short for you, Tanya, at 6-1?
No. Anything with DK World is never short. I don't mind what he does if he does come out very shortly and run against Sadler's Rock. He's just brilliant with this horse, Dermot. Though he won the long distance cup here on the Champions meeting, didn't he? Rite of Passage. It's just
so impressive.
This is such a unique distance, unique trip that it's concentrated amount of horses that will actually stay this. And you do look at previous winners to perhaps complete the double, because this is a race that's won many times, 10 times, multiple
proven
winners.
territory for them, basically.
10 times, yeah. Sagara won it 3 times and the great Yates won it 4 times, so you have to go for previous form. And when you look back through the form of these horses, they all beat one another in time. There'll be various reasons, like Sadler's Rock will win the Goodwood Cup and yet then get beat in the Doncaster Cup, and yet when he'll come to Ascot, and that doesn't bother you backing him. You just need to know they stay the 2.5 miles. With that in mind, you look at the likes of Colour Vision, who comes back to defend his crown. Even Estimate Queen winning the Gold Cup, you couldn't beat that, could you? Ever.
Be a bit of a spectacle, wouldn't it?
But 6-1 Rite of Passage seems enormous, because it's just whether on the day everything's right for him.
So get stuck into it right now.
I don't often back favourites, but I like Rite of Passage because of DK World. You'd be also key looking at the French runner, Top Trip. I didn't think he ran too badly in the Yorkshire Cup because he was primed to meet his target. Glenstarman didn't get past it, whereas he will run a nice race over 2.5, I think.
Bill? Pearls of wisdom?
Yeah, I mean, Rite of Passage is 9. That's the only negative for me. You know, there's just, I know there aren't many races under his belt, but I just would be worried about him getting on. Sadler's Rock I'm keen on, but it's putting 2 good runs together is always the confusing thing with Sadler's Rock. I'm not a fan of Estimate. I think there's always a danger in this race, and it's probably, I've learned the hard way in the past, of backing 2 milers in this race thinking they'll stay when they don't. And finding horses that definitely stay are interesting. I thought that Simonon was definitely interesting. Willie Mullins' horse was 2 wins at Ascot last year, running on at the death in the Chester Cup. Step up and trip. There won't be many staying on better than Simonon, so I think Simonon's very interesting. Earl of Tinsdale, the German horse, is really interesting. He's got some decent Group 1 form out there, and if it stays, it shouldn't be a 20-1 shot. But I would definitely favour Simonon each way as my call.
Can you advocate backing anything in this race if you're not sure it stays? Because like we just said earlier, repeat winners, repeat winners,
Yeah,
repeat winners.
agreed.
I think it's very difficult to back anything that doesn't stay. I'm a big Sadler's Rock fan. I was disappointed it came third last year. It struggles to settle early in its races. I think it got slightly outstayed by Colour Vision, but I think it never seems to get its ground.
The ground, yeah,
exactly.
ground wasn't
Really
really
Never
stable.
gets its ground. If it,
Yeah.
what a beautiful day we've got today.
And a strong pace,
Yeah.
strong pace, and decent ground. Huge runner. But
Relying on sunny, hot weather for your horse running in 2 weeks in England is probably not what I would normally advise. However, I think if the ground is good, quick ground, 8 to 8, it can't possibly go off 8 to 1 Sadler's Rock.
yeah, I agree. I mean, we'll see what happens when they run in their trial. But I think at the prices, I'd rather be with Simonon on the basis that if this race was 2.6, it would be fine. I mean, won the Queen Alexandra last year over 2 miles 6. There'll be no issues. Willie Mullins, as we all know, is a genius anyway. But I think the value call would be Simonon at 12s.
Well, I'd love to see Rite of Passage win. I think there's a few too many imponderables there for me to advocate backing it at 6s. So I'm going to go with Sadler's Rock at 8 to 1. Claude?
Rite of Passage for me. I think he's a rather special horse, and we'll have him absolutely cherry ripe for the day. I'm sure of that.
Tanya?
I'm Rite of Passage, but if he doesn't run or nothing's right for him, what sort of price are you High Jinks?
High Jinks
I think he's
is a 12 to 1 shot.
another goodie. He just plough on for second or third. He just plods on. He's reliable.
Pick up beaten rivals down the
Yeah.
straight. Bill?
Simonon each way at 12s for me.
Excellent. Well, enjoy the Ascot Gold Cup, and with whatever you back, you know where we are. 08000 521 321.